recording now, though.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting session for you guys. Because, James is doing his usual and just plowing the fields. And, Alana's not in her house. Poor Amari's been left alone. Joe's been assigned a house by Viola now. Up over here. And Marcus, he's had talking outside his house all night. It didn't really wake him up, but he may have casually absorbed some of the information. Now tell me, who out of the three of you do you think would be the first awake?
Is it going to be early morning?
Yes.
Probably Marcus then.
If it's morning, I probably haven't gone to bed yet.
Yeah, like the kind of military life of and especially religious as well, of the Paladin Order. I'd imagine that he'd be used to being up early.
Okay, and does he have a special routine when he gets up?
I mean, other than charging out of his house in his underwear?
I mean, yeah, there is that. It would be, I guess, like morning prayers, and then depending on what was going on around here. I don't think he would be like armor every day. So probably just casual clothes, and then I don't know if he'll have been tasked with anything while here.
I'd say Viola would have put him on protection duty.
Yeah. Well, in that case, then yeah, he would be getting armored up and taking care of anything and that, and then heading out to do his patrol or go to the station.
Okay, normal day, except as you go out on patrol, you find Alana passed out on your doorstep.
Okay. Yeah,
Surprise.
so he would, yeah, he'd be really surprised, obviously, and run over, and calling out her name, and trying to see if he could wake her.
Okay. And she's unwakeable.
Okay.
And the arm that's the curse, that got cursed on her, the original origin point, there is a big, black mark on that arm.
In that case, he would be gathering her up in his arms and running towards Viola's house.
Okay, not wanting to alert anyone else at this point?
I was going to say, I noticed there's some, cat girls in this vicinity which he'd be running past. So, as he runs past with her, he'd be shouting out to get, probably just to get James, I think.
Alright. So, James, you get this news delivered by one of the priestesses?
Then, yeah, I'm gonna beeline straight for the freaking house, Viola's place at that point.
Okay. And Joe, there seems to be a ruckus going on outside your house.
So, did I hear the word cat girl used?
Yes, you did.
Then some of the cat girls shift and Joe crawls out from under them. And notice
My God.
Everybody loves cat girls.
Uh,
and he's trailing after behind James.
Wait, trilling or trailing?
yes.
Trailing trailing. He was
never know.
trailing with the cat girls, and he's trailing after James.
All right, okay, cool. Just
Are we gonna
just
have
making
a
sure we're clear
rivalry
there.
here?
No, more like sharing. You know, they're cat girls.
Sharing is caring.
And cat girls love to care for everyone.
Okay, so you've arrived at Viola.
Yep. And he would lay Alana down at her feet and say that something is wrong.
Did she forget to eat?
Viola looks up and down the mark on her arm. And while she's doing that, you guys can talk amongst yourselves while I look for a certain token that I may have misplaced.
Well, I'm assuming that as Viola's looking her over, it's gonna be she's gonna be doing that just as Joe and myself show up, and I just coming in like running flat out and just gonna skid in to her side, and just look up at both Viola and Marcus and what happened.
I have no idea. I came out of my house lying on the ground like this.
She goes, did she forget to eat? We should feed her.
How long has this been, like, since we came back from the last mission?
It's been maybe a couple days.
Okay.
But the night before, James and Alana were having a rather long conversation outside of your house.
Yeah. I was just curious, like, if we would have seen her eat in that time.
You get the feeling that with the curse, she was eating non-stop.
Yeah, she's kind of, yeah, I've been playing that anyway.
And Viola pauses for a second, gives Marcus a stern look, and just says, "Fetch my sister."
Okay, where is sister residing nowadays?
Yeah, she's looking over the cliffs.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna sprint off.
She
looking for
was
her.
in your bedchambers the other night.
Yeah.
Oh, was this the one that was crawling around the roof, was it?
No, that was Viola.
That was Viola, okay.
But pretty much, she enters your bedchambers every night and just looks over your sword.
Yeah, not at all creepy. Yeah, so I'm gonna run up to her and call out that Viola has sent me. There's something wrong with Alana. She needs your help.
She lets out a sigh and just says, "I knew this would come soon." And she hops up on your shoulder.
I'll sprint back again then.
Okay. And as Layla reaches Alana, she starts channeling some sort of magic into her.
Look up at the two dragons. How bad is it?
Layla gives you a look that's just distraught and just says, "If we do not save her soon, we'll lose her to the Mad One."
How do we save her?
There's talk of a spring in a forest that if someone drinks the water from it, any dark or negative energy within them is cleansed.
Do we know?
James gets to his feet really quickly. Where?
Funny you should say that, James. It was actually not far from where you originated.
He frowns a little bit. Didn't hear anything about that when we were living there. Explains why the place was so heavily guarded.
Hmm. And Viola walks over to Joe.
Joe perks up.
And she says, "Do you remember the ritual of your people?"
And he looks very cautious for a moment. And he goes, I know some of the rituals of my people. Yes. And
And
it
she
looks
says-
like he almost has stage fright. If a lizard could have stage fright.
And she says, "I'm on about the specific ritual of the flames. The one that let your people see the past, present, and future."
Yes. I have never performed it myself, but I have seen it performed.
And she says, "Once you return, I need you to perform that. There's something I need to show you all."
He nods his head very solemnly and makes it a promise to perform it.
And she's just going to give him a pat on the head and say, "I can always rely on you."
He blushes. He turns almost pink when he blushes, and it goes all over.
And she's going to chuckle to herself and say, "A pink lizard. Not my style, but I'll keep it."
He blushes more. Then he excuses himself and goes out to clear his head.
Okay, and with these goings on, would anyone like to roll intelligence to see if they can, well, if they've ever heard of this forest that you're going to?
Sure.
I'll roll it, but
I mean, of course you've heard of it.
apparently so, yes.
Marcus has heard vague stories, apparently.
Yeah, he knows the legend, but not where it is.
Yeah. Apparently James knows not only the legend, but where it is and stuff about it, whereas Marcus and Joe both know stuff about it. So, first off, tell me something about this forest, Silver.
So it's a forest that's close to where Ilana and James grew up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, wow, okay, I've got to really rethink a few things right now.
I can come back to you if needed.
Yeah, give me a second on that one.
Okay.
The same trees.
Laurel.
Shut up, Dag.
Yeah.
Laurel, I'm going to ask you for two things. One
Okay.
positive about the forest and one negative.
Right. This forest is the home of the largest of the Catgirl tribes.
I like.
Dear Diary. Jackpot.
And now the negative.
Yep.
This forest is also home to uh, a tribe of invisible, carnivorous, intelligent cats.
Wow, you really had to make them invisible.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, the
I mean, it was a pretty
jokes.
big pro. She had to put a pretty big con there.
Okay, and now Marcus. Give me something about the trees in the forest.
Okay. Uh, they would be pretty big, I think. And I can imagine the cat tribes would have almost like a treehouse civilization, so they would be up in the branches, so that they're pretty big.
Okay. And since you rolled the lowest, tell me the name.
Oh wow, you suck. Okay. Okay, you need to give me a minute.
Okay, so Silver.
Okay. Kind of have this worked out then. So the whole thing is that James and Alana come from a chain of islands. They actually live on one of the largest. The forest covers pretty much half of the island, and it goes right from the ocean front all the way up to mountaintop on one side of the island. And yeah, if Marcus was saying that it's large trees, we're probably talking big, massive, big evergreens, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got right now.
Alright, no worries.
So I'm gonna go super lame with the name. But yeah, with this like invisible carnivorous cat thing, and then also having the legends around this um this spring, we're gonna go Darkwood for the name. Darkwood
Alright,
Forest.
I can dig it. Let me just grab a token to be my generic cat girl token. Okay. So Viola's gonna just she's gonna give you all a little nudge and just drag you away. And to give a bit more urgency to this mission, she's just gonna say to you that this mission you've got about 3 days before Alana is lost.
Okay.
I kind of grip James's shoulder assuringly, like a promise that we'll make it.
Glance sideways at Joe and then fix Viola with a cold stare. Then what are we waiting for?
Well, I'm not sending you guys in unprepared. And she gives you a mixture of about 5 potions, couple of rations, bandages, and she gives James a warning. And she tells James about these specific invisible cats. And that they like to go for stragglers in a group.
Um, Based on what I said earlier, that he didn't know about the well, but he knows the forest, so he's just gonna kind of um, nod a little bit and like, yeah, they're notorious. Sorry, what did you say you were giving us? 3 potions,
Uh,
bandages, rations.
5
Oh,
potions,
5.
3 sets of rations, and 5 bandages.
And that's like shared group loot?
Yeah,
Okay.
like you're working it as a group at this point.
Um, do we need to bring Alana with us, or can we just bring some of the water back?
She can't be moved. The only reason that the curse hasn't taken over fully is because Layla's channeling her energy into her.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Would anyone like to grab anything before you leave?
A container to collect the water.
I have that covered.
Yeah.
Alchemist with an alchemy kit. Yeah, I got that covered.
Yeah. I just didn't want to get to the spring and like, so did anybody bring a bottle?
Yeah, that's something that would happen with the other group.
I would
But
have
yeah.
made that exact same argument at the spring in that case. Alchemist, glass bottles. I'm just going to tip something out and take that.
I've got
Okay,
adventurous
so,
gear anyway, so. But yeah.
so at this point, Iola's just going to open another one of her portals in front of you.
Here we go again.
And at this point, Joe's got used to portal travel because Viola just keeps sending him through portals to go fetch things in the world for her.
Yeah. He takes a breath, steps through.
He's just like, oh, this again.
I'm going to pause for a moment and sort of stare over at Viola. I'm not like, he wants to say something. He wants to say a warning, like, you let her go and we're done. But yeah, he knows better at this point and just walks through.
Plus, why would she let her go? Like, it would really not benefit her in any way.
She gets a potent soul.
Yeah, but she also loses one of the champions.
I know. That's in that few seconds he weighed up a lot of things. That's why he bit his tongue.
So Marcus is going to take one last look back at Alana and then step through.
Awesome. So everyone has stepped through. Getting you guys to go through portals is like getting Marcus to drink Kool-Aid.
Marcus doesn't drink Kool-Aid?
He
Oh,
does
he does.
frequently.
All the
That's the thing.
Like, Laurel, basically in their first sessions, I gave each one of them, in order to get them into the labyrinth, I gave them an ultimatum kind of thing.
Okay.
And like, it's you drink this and the others get to go free kind of thing. But Marcus walks up to a dwarf that his deity had told him evil and drinks the beer that the dwarf was offering for free that had the same poison in it.
Right.
I knew what was going on. I'm just like, yep, sure, I'll drink that.
So it's a running gag that Marcus just likes to drink poison.
And then when we run into the barkeep in the labyrinth, I was just like, yeah, I'll drink.
Yeah, Marcus is the first one to sit down.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna drag you over to the new map now. Was just prepping some stuff.
New map.
It's actually a map that's made out of a bunch of different maps. I kind of had to persevere here. I just put something together.
It's a map.
That kind of fits well together. It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, you arrive just outside of what looks like an outpost that has a mix of cat girls and just cat girls and humans, with the occasional halfling.
There we go. My map was doing derpy things there. Okay.
Just to bring you all over to the same place.
So, just as I kind of get a handle on this, the town down there is the main village kind of thing where we'd have grown up, right?
Down here, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the one I pinged. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you would have grown up.
Okay. And then the rest is the way through the forest. Okay. Alrighty.
Okay, so you've arrived in this strange forest just outside of this little outpost that the Catgirl tribe has made to trade with others. Who's gonna be the first to act?
Yeah, Marcus is gonna kind of look at James because he's obviously the one that knows this place
Yeah,
best.
Joe's going to do the same.
Yeah, it's gonna take him a minute to kind of figure out where he's at. It's been it's been 6 years real time since he was back here. Actually, longer than that. Now that I think about it, this entire camp is completely new to him, at least. So it's going to take a minute for him to get his bearings. And then once he kind of knows where things are at, gonna head on or gonna say to the others, we're gonna need to find someone native to these woods to get an idea of where to go. One of the local tribes people will hopefully have an idea. And he's going to head off into the camp.
Yeah, Marcus is gonna follow behind.
Joe too.
I need to open that.
As you enter the camp, you notice a mixture of humans, halflings, dwarves, and catgirls. Looking like they're doing some trading. The catgirls specifically are selling herbs from the forest from deep within. One of them is claiming to have a remedy for all illnesses.
Okay, that one I want to go up to. Which
Okay,
one is it?
That's gonna be this one.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna head up to that one. And like is she just sort of sitting there yelling like all your illness is fixed with one little potion sort of thing?
Yes. You
Alright.
get the feeling that she's young, but she's kind of a hustler.
Great. Okay. Um, I want to just walk straight up to her, sort of dodging in between any of the people that are kind of stopped around her stall, and just kind of face to face with her, and no bullshit aside, just are these potions from the fountain in the forest?
She gives James a rather innocent look and says, "I don't know what you're talking about, sir. These are potions I made in my lab."
His eye is going to narrow. You can't make that in a lab.
Oh, what would you know?
He opens his jacket a little bit. Fellow professional, and lets it drop up closed again. There isn't a
Looking at
fix-all.
those vials of yours, you are far from professional, sir.
Them's fighting words.
Huh. Judging from your age, you're not very much a professional either.
That you could say that, but my potions they cure any illness, so
Very well. How much?
200 gold, sir.
That explains a lot. And he's just going to walk away.
And as you're walking away, she's just gonna sigh and say, "You're lost, then."
Actually, this one here was the other one that was calling out like for herbs in the village, right? The herbs from the deep woods.
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm gonna walk up to her and be like, "You collect these from deep in the forest, correct?"
She's gonna nod and just shyly say, "Yes."
You know your way around pretty well.
As well as I can now. The forest is a tricky place to navigate, even to the most experienced.
Yes, I've never liked the deepest part of these woods. Are you able to get us all the way up the mountain to the fountain?
The
What are you
fountain?
doing? Sorry.
I'm
The things
sorry,
that my
sir.
imagination does when you say things like that.
Okay, a little bit of explanation. I have two ferrets that free roam the house, and one of them is derping around underneath my desk right now. I have
Yeah,
no idea what
see-
she's doing.
See, I know you're talking to your ferrets. I used to have a ferret of my own, so I understand, and that's what I say. Still, my imagination just goes
Mhm.
like all over the place.
Yeah, I have no idea where the hell she is. Okay. Sorry. So she has no idea where the fountain is.
Yeah. She just looks at you confused and just with a nervous rattle in her voice, she just says, I don't know what you're on about."
You haven't heard the legends of the fountain or the stream deep in the forests here?
She lets out a soft chuckle and says, "Sir, I'm a mere merchant. What use would legends be to me?"
Well, you're counterpart just down the street is charging 200 gold for a vial the size of your thumbnail from this fountain.
Yeah, that's just water.
That's my point.
She claims it's from this fountain, but no one actually buys from her.
And he lets out a little laugh at this point. Really? She goes into the... Have you seen her leave the camp alone, or does she take a guide?
She usually lives on her own and heads to the west, but that's the jungle cat territory. We don't often venture that way. They don't like it when we invade their territory.
So how does she get through so easily? Okay, thank you for your time. I'm gonna walk up to the others and just be the only one that seems to know anything about this is that first merchant. She seems to be able to get through there relatively easily. I would attempt to follow her if she leaves camp, but we need to wait. Or in the interim, we need to try and find someone that knows their way through these forests. Get out from under there! Sorry.
Yeah, all good, all good.
So do we want to put the word out that we're looking for someone to help us?
Want to discuss anything with anyone else in the village first?
If we put word out, people will know we're... If we put word out, there's more likelihood we'll get ambushed in the forest.
I guess you're right.
Just
get off my microphone! Sorry. You cannot say hello to your people this time.
Joe is looking around the village, and he's kind of wandering for a few minutes. He's actually looking if he can find anyone here who's sick, or does it seem like in this particular village everyone is healthy?
Everyone here seems healthy.
And that's when he'll wander back to the other two, and he goes, I saw... No, actually, he wouldn't say, Go, he goes, there are no sick here. No sick beggars, just a girl with her potions.
You think it has something to do with this spring?
Maybe.
I imagine the sick would probably go down into the town. Get off the keyboard.
They might know spring, might keep it secret for themselves.
Hairs on the back of James's neck prick up. Turns round to the newcomer. Can I help you?
He says, I overheard you mumbling to each other about needing a guide through the forest.
Oh?
And
And
he
you
says,
would be such a guide?
I know my way around these parts. Nothing would dare touch me in this forest, he chuckles to himself.
Hmm. James
Seems
takes
a
a
little
moment to look him
suspicious.
up and down. What type of a character is he?
He's he's just a dwarf, like normal dwarf height. Black robe with hood, gauntlets on his hands. And personality-wise, you get the feeling he's out to make a quick buck.
Um, what makes you say nothing in the dark forest would dare attack you? A forest filled with carnivorous canine predators.
He chuckles to himself again and pulls out a rather large skinning knife. And he says, because I've spent the last 3 months hunting them, they don't dare come anywhere near me anymore.
Hmm.
So if we were to take you, what do you want in return?
Just a couple of vials from that spring that you're looking for.
James's eyes narrow. Surely, if you know the woods and the cats aren't afraid of you.
Why do you need us?
Because they say the spring only appears for those that need it.
Hmm. This is out of character. That's us fucked. We don't specifically need it. Anyway, back in
I don't
character.
know. There's a rather like I say James would need it because like the spring would kind of sense the need that he needs it for an antidote for someone else. But just because you don't specifically need it doesn't mean that your intentions wouldn't be for using it for someone that does need it.
True, true. Um, hmm. Very well, if that's all you wish. A guide would be greatly appreciated. You know where it's supposed to come? You know where it's supposed to appear?
The tales say that the path will appear to those that are deemed worthy enough in the central forest.
Very well. Lead the way.
And he leads you out of the village. Down the path that you came up.
Ah!
Oh my!
And,
I just traumatized Frank.
oh
Oh.
dear.
He asked me what I wanted on my toppings for pizza, and I told him pepperoni and pineapple.
I don't.
Oh god.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore, Laurel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sounds good to me.
Um,
I'm a weirdo though.
Yes. I mean, what?
okay, this dwarf, he's leading you through the forest. Through just
So as we're
clearings.
walking along, Marcus is kind of going to fall back a little bit. I start a little prayer to his deity and ask if there's any evil to this dwarf.
Oh, you clever paladin. And your deity, she's gonna commune with you, and you alone. And she says, I have seen this dwarf on the battlefield before. More specifically, the final battle between the Mad God and Viola.
Okay, that
Let's
makes
just
him
say,
extremely old.
yeah, let's just say the dwarf wasn't on the right side.
Thank you for the information. Yeah. Yeah, and he's gonna catch back up to the rest of the group.
Yeah,
And
prayer or
the
not, I'm
dwarf's
kind of
gonna
gonna
keep
hiss
going.
over at him. Remember the warning. Don't fall behind.
He's just gonna nod at James.
And as the dwarf gets further in, he's just gonna stop. And
Problem.
he's just, he's gonna draw his knife.
James's hand goes straight for his own. Doesn't draw it.
Marcus, that sword is out. Yeah, he is on guard.
And you hear rustling in the trees north of you.
So much for leaving you alone.
Joe is puzzled and isn't reacting, isn't drawing a flaming brand or anything yet. He's just watching everything going on.
Marcus is gonna turn to the others and snarling at the dwarfs like this one can't be trusted.
And, as you say that, a cat is. The cats are creeping closer, but there's a staying cloaked.
So we have no idea that they're actually cats, and they're there. There's a
Yes.
rustling in the undergrowth. Okay. Um. Hmm. James is going to fix the dwarf with a cold stare. What do you really want from us?
The dwarf chuckles and just says, all I want is that water.
Would this water be for the mad god then?
James frowns a little bit and looks over at Marcus.
And he's just gonna tell them what Ario told him. This one was at the last battle and not on our side.
Do you actually mention Artio by name?
Yes. Yeah. Artio has spoken to me. And this one was at the last battle. Not on our side. Fighting for this mad god.
And yeah, the dwarf, he's just gonna smile at you with just a smug grin. Artio, you say? Last time I heard that name was when our champions were slaughtering her on the battlefield. Although she did well, that bear of hers took maybe a couple of limbs from one of them.
Out of character, there's something I would so curious to try, but it might not go my way.
Oh,
Oh, what is it?
I have cleric spell. And it is called Cause Fear. And it is choose a target you can see and a nearby object. With it being an object, I don't know if it will work on a person. The target is afraid of the object as long as you maintain the spell. The reaction is up to them. They can flee, panic, beg, or
It
fight.
says object.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, never mind then, it won't work.
based
Okay.
on the wording of that,
It says object.
I am aware of that. He is wearing an object, i.e. the cape.
Yeah. I am
Yeah, but
super
He's
super
also one of the
curious.
higher ups in the Mad Gods hierarchy. I don't think he'd be scared of his own cape.
No, I meant Marcus's cape. Like he casts fear on the dwarf, and it is fear of his cape, Marcus's cape.
See, my thinking was actually to make the cats afraid of him.
You can't see them.
You can't see them.
Are we not assuming that? Okay, never mind then.
Like even if you need to target the spell at them, and you don't know where they are to target them.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, if you really want to, I can let you roll 2d6 to see if you get a lucky hit.
No, I'm going to forget. There's too many variables in this. If I could guarantee that the cats would then fight him, I just like the irony of him being torn apart after what he's just said to me. Was my thinking. That was what cropped into my head, but never mind.
Hmm.
It's a little too hard to justify with the story, I think.
And as I thought stuff there, he's gonna start channeling a spell towards Marcus.
As soon
And as he starts channeling, a fireball appears in his hand.
I want to step in between.
Okay. Anyone else gonna act?
yeah, as soon as I see him casting, my knife is out, and I am going after him. Now, are these interfere rolls at this point?
Yeah, they would be.
Okay. Yeah, so for me at least, it's going to be an interfere on Dex, and he's going to be going after that that casting hand with his daggers. Thank God for +3 on Dex.
You manage to interfere with his spell. And the fireball, it fires, but it doesn't go in the direction of Joe or Marcus.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. That sounded ominous.
It actually flies off in the direction of one of the cats, causing it to reveal itself. But as you're in close with your dagger, he still has his hunting knife.
That's fine.
And apparently he's fucking useless.
Caught off guard for someone moving so quick, I guess.
Yeah. And he goes to stab for you, but actually ends up stabbing in Joe's direction, but Joe's not in range.
Yay!
And he's caught completely off guard.
Wait, is that a surprise?
You're not rolling damage.
No, I
You
meant
interrupted.
for the next attack round.
No, because he knows you. He knows you're dead now.
God damn it.
Am I close enough to make an attack on him? By, like moving obviously towards him. Can I do that in
Oh, actually, in that case.
a move?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, after what he said about the battle and what happened to Artio, Marcus is just furious, and he's just gonna brush past Joe, with the sword raised up. And his eyes start glowing, and he's just pure look of feral rage. And he's carrying the sword sort of like straight out in front of him, about waist height, and I want to just try and ram it through his gut.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
God damn.
Yeah, you managed to pierce all the armor he's wearing underneath there. Just your sword goes straight through his gut.
9 damage, yeah. So he's just like, I'm lifting him up. He's just impaled on this sword before me.
Yep.
And I just like, my face is right in his. And I'm just going to whisper to him, I wonder if it felt something a little like that.
And Joe. The fireball that went off preemptively.
Right?
It wasn't powerful enough to cause any real damage, but it did start a fire in the forest.
I'm going to try and seize control of that fire and put it out. Or at least we'll
Okay.
see if I can get control of it first. I believe that
Okay.
is int. I have to look real quick. No, it's wisdom. Okay.
Yep, wisdom.
Nice.
And that is an 11. You can do whatever you want with that fire.
I am going to take that fire and draw it in. So basically it's moving from where it was just burning in the forest, and it's going to become, for right now, a circle of fire around us. Just in case the cats were thinking about attacking, putting the fire between us and them, and I will concentrate on the fire while they are dealing with the dwarf.
And, as the fire surrounds you all, the cats, they're just like, nah, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
And they'd rather live than get involved with whatever's going on, so they retreat back into their forest.
Good deal.
Aww. I had a plan for them as well, but that works.
I mean, they've only retreated. They're probably going to wait for things to subside.
Oh, that's fine. I still has a
And-
plan for them if they show up again.
And yeah, as this dwarf is on the end of Marcus's sword, he's just taunting Marcus and just telling him how good it felt for his champions to rip his god apart on the battlefield. Just tearing at her just with sword slash after slash. So, James, are you going to take any action or leave it to Marcus?
Oh. how mad like I realize that he's paced, but like how visibly rage monkey is he at this point? Marcus, like,
You
Oh,
can see the look on his face, one of just pure rage and anger. One that you have never seen on anyone before.
hmm. Evil or no, taking the life of someone who is at your mercy isn't the paladin way. Um, yeah, James is actually gonna just go for his throat, and yeah, just going for the kill as much damage as he can possibly put out.
Okay.
It's gonna be that.
Take a
He's
+1 on your damage since he's on the end of a sword as well.
well. I would argue the fact that he is in fact defenseless at this point in time.
Either way, you're gonna finish him off, so the backstab doesn't matter.
Okay. Um, Apparently not.
You know, your dagger lightly grazes his throat. It just, like gives him a paper cut.
As I say, I was gonna argue the fact for backstab being as he's defenseless.
I mean, he's not too defenseless though. He's a caster.
He's impaled on the end of a sword. He can't exactly dodge very well, or reach around and try and defend himself against me.
True,
Well, of course he's
but
not going to reach around. You're trying to kill him. He's not going to give you a reach around.
I don't know. Apparently, I
Definitely
pulled off a pretty good drag queen the other day. So,
oh yeah.
okay. So on my level up, I got a new cleric spell called Magic Weapon, where the weapon you hold while casting does 1d4 damage, plus 1d4 damage, I should say, until you dismiss the spell. Can I use that to now set my sword on holy fire with him still impaled on it?
I'll allow that.
Okay, so that's going to be wisdom roll.
I want to see what I'd have got on that roll anyway. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, so that was a 12 on my wisdom roll for cast a spell. And yeah, can I now roll damage with that included?
Go for it.
Okay, so be that slash so 7 damage. So the sword just bursts into holy fire, and starts searing him, while he's impaled on it, and burning the darkness in him with the light.
And James, I'm gonna give you the chance to take that as a surprise attack. So you can go ahead and take that 6 damage and add it on.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I was
mean,
totally just thinking like I wanted to see what I would have got as a roll. But yeah, apparently fucking crit on the surprise on the backstab, whatever. So
Yeah.
okay.
And
I mean, I'll take it.
with him just with holy fire just piercing his body, a wall of flame around him, and just this thief that's just slashed his throat clean open. The dwarf cannot take any more punishment, and all the life fades away from him.
Joe
Yeah.
trills with victory.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna like put my boot against his body and just push him off the end of the sword.
And as you do that, your deity, you'd think she'd be angry at you for killing, but she's actually smiling upon you. And in your head, you just hear the words, "Thank you."
Yeah, so Marcus isn't going to say anything, but that kind of terrible look on his face and the rage is just going to subside. And he's going to be pretty happy with that.
So, Joe, what are you gonna do with this wall of flames?
Now I'm going to extinguish it.
Okay, and as you extinguish it, the cat that was revealed after it walks up to the group.
Did you say it walks up?
Yes.
I'm eyeing it.
I'm actually going to step over the body and kind of not meet the cat head on, but just kind of step in front, glance over my shoulder at Marcus and say, "You good?"
I'm fine.
And then going to turn my attention back to the cat. I'm just gonna wait and see what it does.
And the cat, it walks straight past James. And it goes and actually brushes up against Marcus.
Oh, yeah, Marcus is going to be a little kind of surprised at this. And I guess reach out a hand. Not actually touch it, but just put it close to it to see what it does.
And the cat looks at you eagerly, as if it wants you to pet it.
And Marcus does so, just slowly caressing along its neck and shoulders.
And it starts to lightly purr as you do this. And it looks down at the dwarf and just growls.
James glances down at the dwarf and then at the cat, and were you trying? You were trying to kill him, not anyone else, or were you under his charm?
The cat's unable to answer or understand.
Yeah, no, it was more just a question to the ether at that point.
And as this happens, the other two, while still invisible, just grab the dwarf's body and just drag it away into the woods.
That would be quite the sight to see of this body now just start lurching randomly towards the trees by itself.
Yeah, Joe jumps a little bit when that happens.
Poor Joe. He just wanted to find Farmer and he got dragged into all of this.
There's dragons, and that makes it okay.
And yet, this cat, it keeps winding itself around Marcus's legs.
Looks like you've got a friend.
And
Lana
Marcus
would
is
be
just going to
pleased.
look up at.
So, Marcus, I'm going to give you an option.
Okay.
Would you like to roll charisma for me?
I certainly can. 10.
God damn. Well, the cat itself was so impressed by your bravery and just your capabilities in combat that it wants to join you as a hireling.
Sounds good.
And it will follow you and possibly guide you through the forest. But in return, all it asks is that you help it grow stronger too.
I'm totally willing to take that deal. And being the super, helpful dude that Marcos is, he's going to reach into his pack and feed it some food from his dungeon rations.
And the cat's just happy to be with you. Because,
Love, true love.
and with you two making like that bond, you get the feeling that the cat was after the dwarf specifically because the dwarf killed its mother.
Ah, okay.
His story about being a hunter was true, but he was also hunting you.
Yeah.
So, without your guide, you're in the middle of a forest. There's a dwarf body being torn up in the underbush.
A lot of cats hissing at each other and crunching of bones, and yeah, okay.
Yeah, just this mist of blood as well.
Well, James is going to kind of step away from the group a little bit and then turn back around. Well, lost our guide, but he did give us an idea of where it was, or where we should be looking. Being as we now have one of these cats with us, the rest of them will be less likely to go after us.
Agreed.
Okay, one
So-
second. I'm going to give you the control of the token, Marcus.
Cute.
Okay, you now have cat, bro.
Ooh, cat bro.
I would not waste time going back into town when we know where we need to be.
Press on then it is.
Agreed.
Alright.
And before you guys leave, Marcus,
Yep.
the pocket that you hold the parchment in, you feel it suddenly burning hot. Not the normal warmth feeling that you get when the mad god's trying to send you a message, but this time it is burning.
Yeah, so he's going to quickly scrabble into that pocket and just like toss the parchment onto the ground in front of him.
And the parchment itself is just going to say, you could have, you didn't have to kill him,
For you to be saying that tells me I did the right thing then. And for once, Marcus is actually going to be the one to chuckle after all the times the Mad God has done it to him through that parchment.
And the mad god, just in a pure rage, says, Paladin, you better watch your back. The next time any of my followers see you, you are dead.
Funny, we've killed all of them so far.
And the parchment that now starts referring to James. And it says, "Oh, funny, because I wouldn't say you've killed them. You're just Viola's little puppet after all. Doing her bidding since she's too afraid to come face me herself."
Oh, you didn't feel the dragon's breath on you?
Trust me, foolish thief, uh, there is no dragon that I am scared of.
Joe doesn't say it out loud, but Joe is thinking to himself, sort of with a reptilian smirk, is that if that was true, he wasn't going to be bothering with us.
You clearly are mad. I am no thief. And I know that hurt. And he's gonna walk off.
Yeah, Marcus is going to look at Joe and say, I think I've had just about enough of carrying this parchment around. Do you think you could lend some of that fire for a moment?
Yes, I can.
So can we get Joe to... Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna make you roll, but anyway.
I figured since there was a mad god involved, I better.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I guess that yeah.
You know, the flame is burning, not with the kind of flame that normally happens, with the black flame that Viola gave you.
Awesome. And as the parchment is burning and the black flames are licking at it, Joe says, "My God is the god of death, and even mad gods can die."
Nice.
Okay, so moving forward, the parchment's
Yep,
gone.
and he's just
Viola, freaking the mad god can no longer taunt you through it.
Yeah, I am
Through that
not
one.
sad.
Yeah, James has one of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Yeah,
James
Significantly
picked one up.
less potent, but yes.
I don't know, now that one's gone, yours might become more potent.
Well, that's fine. That gives me someone to argue with. I am game.
Okay. And you see a thick layer of trees right in front of you. And you get the feeling that maybe if you go through them, you'll reach the, quote, center of the jungle, as the dwarf said.
So yeah, gonna keep on heading west as best we can.
Struggle
Okay.
through the forest.
Do you want us up there or just through the trees?
Just through the trees. And you reach a clearing open with cats that they are not in their usual stealth form. They're just altered. That you get that this may be where their home is.
I'm guessing we probably shouldn't walk through the middle of that then, even with Catbro with us.
Yeah, no. Walking through their home is not a good idea.
Yeah.
From where we're at, can we see that river
Yes, you can.
and see which way it's flowing?
It is. You know, roll wisdom. Let's see if you can.
Nope.
No. You can't even tell if it's a river or not. You just think it might be some bluegrass at this point.
Can the rest of us roll, or
Yeah, go on. The rest of you can roll.
you said wisdom? Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
double one, really?
Oh no.
Oh God! Thank goodness someone rolled well.
What the hell is up with these dice today? God
Uh,
damn!
I fail to
Yeah.
understand why they keep saying that's grass ahead. But I go,
Yeah,
water,
Marcus also thinks it's bluegrass,
water, wet,
but
water.
Joe can see the water clearly and see that it's flowing to the south.
Okay, that wasn't flowing the way I was thinking. Okay.
It goes,
It wasn't flowing the way you were thinking.
Well, I was thinking if it was flowing from like the spring or whatever, it would be flowing from south to north. But and
Well, you
then
see up north there's a waterfall, so
yeah, I wasn't scrolled up far enough to see that. Okay, well,
water
Yeah.
can't flow upwards.
Hey,
I have
Hell
video.
can't tell
I have
water what it
video
does.
footage.
hell you say.
I have video footage that disproves that theory.
why does that not surprise me?
You know what? Fuck it, I give up.
I feel like you've been waiting for this conversation for so long. When you
No.
saw that video, you're like, I am keeping that because somebody will tell me one day that water cannot flow upwards.
No, actually, straight up, there's a waterfall back home that when the wind blows strong enough, it just blows the waterfall straight upwards. It's
Oh.
hilarious.
You're going to need to show me this video. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you after we're done here. But yeah, it's completely beside the point. But yeah, I actually have video footage on my phone of that. So yeah.
Okay. And you know, Joe, with that roll of a 9, I'm also gonna give you an extra bit of information, but it's not gonna be as useful as it would have if it was a 10.
Okay.
The trees in the south, they look as if they have some sort of mystical energies to them.
So, those trees seem important. And Joe's going to actually wander towards them.
Mark is just going to look at James and be like, well, I guess we better follow then.
Yeah, James will kind of frown and be like, "Where the fuck is that gecko going?" And then follow suit.
Did you just assume that he's a gecko?
I heard him call Farmer a gecko too.
I know.
Any lizard to me is gecko. It's the same as any bird is a pigeon. It just is what it is.
And on these trees, there's a special kind of fruit that grows.
Joe picks one and sniffs it, and
Hold up, my audio just cut out. 1 sec.
excellent.
Sorry, I'm
And-
going to restart recording as well. Alright, sorry about that.
No worries.
No worries. Joe is going to take one of those brilliant purple-colored pears and lick his tongue along the skin of it.
And, you know, as he does, he feels a burst of energy going through his body. And just, he feels his fire being almost amplified. To the point that in one of his hands, a fire starts without him even prompting it.
He waves his hand and claps it a couple of times to try and put the fire out, but he's grinning and he's got those big plate-like eyes going again.
James raises his eyebrows. Having fun, are you?
Goes, and he points to the fruit and goes, "Try one."
Marcus is going to just like put his hands up and like, I'll pass, thanks.
I'm gonna reach out and pick one. I'm not gonna eat it, just like lick it or anything like that with what Joe did, but I'm gonna kind of analyze it and see if I can figure out what the fuck it actually is, in case it's actually, completely toxic and is actually going to make Joe burn out in a matter of minutes. Is there some rule that I can do to identify this?
You know
Pear.
what? Roll me spout law.
That would be intelligence. Thank
Go
God
on,
for
tell me
plus
about
2.
this fruit.
Crap, I forgot that wasn't. God damn it. Okay. It's a pear. It's purple.
Would you like me to tell you about the fruit?
Yeah, because I wasn't prepared for that spout lore roll at all. I was just wanting to make sure it wasn't toxic to humans and or geckos.
Well, I think that's
Well, you
supposed to be
see-
spout lore anyway. The GM tells you something.
Well,
We house rule it here, Marcus.
yeah,
on
10 plus L says it. The rest of them it's us, which is why I wasn't prepared
right,
for
okay.
it at
Yeah.
all.
It gives it a way that everyone gets to do the storytelling.
Yeah. I like that, yeah.
Also, just so you know, Laurel, on a 7 to 9 with spout law, you actually tell me the lore about the thing,
Gotcha.
and on a 10 plus, I'll tell you the lore about it.
Actually, I guess I could do a bit of lore about that.
Just know that it's an arcane fruit. That's all you need to know to spout the lore.
Okay, so yeah, arcane fruit apparently, yeah, just be, it boosts, temporarily boosts magic output. It's probably amplified by the water from the fountains around here. I didn't actually know these grew in this area.
Joe is going to put about 6 of them in his adventurer's bag.
You know, I'm gonna allow Joe to take 6. Anyone else gonna take any?
They ain't gonna do shit for me. He looks over at Marcus and shrugs. They're not harmful. They are incredibly temporary, though.
Yeah, Marcus is still just going to be like, no thanks.
But meanwhile, the lizard is stuffing his bag with them. So, would anyone like to roll discern realities?
Sure. Ted.
Okay. You get 3 questions. Please make one of them about the entrance to this spring that you're looking for.
Okay, then let's do. What should I be on the lookout for?
Down to the southwest of you, there's what looks like a path that's been overgrown with plants, herbs, bushes, branches, but it looks like it still gets walked occasionally. But very rarely.
Okay. What here is not what it appears to be.
That's a tough one, damn it.
I was always curious on these. Is a GM allowed to say, you know what, nothing?
Yes.
Everything looks fine. It's hunky dory.
I've
You
actually
see no
used that
danger.
one on Silver because
Yep.
Silver's favorite question is, "What here is useful or value to me?" And I'm valuable to me. And at the end of his first session, I was just like, "Nothing. Nothing is useful."
Yeah. Because it is literally a catch-all. Information is useful. Stuff
Yeah.
is useful. It's, yeah.
Good. You know what? The cats themselves, they appear to be leaving you guys alone. You get the feeling maybe this is their home and their nest, and that the waters themselves may actually have a bit of runoff from the spring in them.
Okay,
That
interesting.
may be what gives the cats their powers. There you go. I'll give you a bit of lore instead.
Yeah, that's a cool
Yay.
answer to me. Yeah. Um. Hmm. I mean, after just the conversation we've just had, I mean, the only one that now really seems to fit is what here is useful or valuable to me.
Just waiting for that. Fuck you, nothing.
No. You find a rather strange shaped branch on the floor. You get the feeling that you could shove it up your ass.
God damn it.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
I'm just giving Laurel ideas for the next time I ask that question.
Some more days.
You know what? You know what? I am going to pick up that stick and put it in my backpack,
Oh,
Oh,
God.
good God.
and that is going firmly up the mad god's arse when I find him. Booty stick is now in my inventory.
Okay. I love the shenanigans we get up to in these sessions. And you know, your cat's just gonna look at you confused for taking that stick.
Well, at least you went that way with it and not the, it could have been used for other things.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking he was getting a lot of a gift.
Mm.
I mean, really? Like,
That's
oh,
where my
I'm so
mind
sorry
went.
of everything that's happened to you. Here's a stick.
Here's a stick that is good for shoving up asses, apparently, to the GM.
It's got a really nice, smooth, polished end, just for easy entry.
You know what?
Oh
Let's
my
get to
God.
that spring.
Please. Oh my God. You know what? I'm actually going to put that in my notes. Marcus finds booty stick.
Okay, so this I take it this is the entrance you're talking about here.
Yeah.
Followed by a massive line of dots. Anyways.
Where the fuck did James go?
What?
He's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see him for a second.
I'm with
Like
the
the
group,
cursor
kind of.
completely disappeared. Right, so
I guess we're moving on to the next map.
you find what you can assume to be the spring. Like, you see a couple of trails around it, like from the cats when they come here to drink, when they're ill or weakened.
And this is definitely the spring, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
The trees overhead actually grow so thick that it's dark here.
Okay. Then yeah, if we have identified it, then I'm gonna go up and take some files from my jacket and reach down and film.
As James is doing that, I'm going to cup my hands and take some water and hold it out to the cat with me.
And the cat's just gonna happily drink from it.
Joe is standing guard and is looking alert at the trees and everything else, and is just a little tense and wary because we had that dwarf problem, and he wants to make sure that nobody attacks while his companions are gathering the water.
Okay, so actually roll me 2d6.
But hold that thought. I have to go get the pizza. I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that'll work. I need to make sure that this is actually recording audio this time, so bear with me a moment.
Yeah. Okay. I definitely
Okay,
need to remember I've got that.
It is actually recording audio, so all right, awesome.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
good. Because good God, I think D would kill us.
Well, that's why I said earlier. You know what? I'm going to add that to my notes. I am literally scribbling down fucking shorthand notes of this session in case it doesn't record audio for D.
All right. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Once I make sure the recording is good, then I'll to get rid of the notes. But yeah. If it's not, then I'm going to have to piece together the entire session after we're done.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, we can all lend a hand if need.
As long as I get it done quick enough, I'll remember it all. Not word for word, but like what happened.
Yeah, enough that she'll have an idea what happened.
Yeah. And I definitely, I 100% I have the video. It would be the audio that I missed out on, and
which is the important part.
Well, yeah, I mean the audio is pretty important, but nah.
I think we could afford to lose the video, you know.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of hours of some tokens on a map moving around by themselves.
Yeah, my point is though that with the video I can actually piece together what happened.
Use it
even without the audio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to do that a couple of times for when audio issues have happened in like D&D sessions and stuff like that in the past.
Right. So do you take notes on every game?
If there's recordings that are guaranteed to work, I do not take notes because it's all on video. If there's no recording, then yeah, I'll shorthand notes, like key things that happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
If it's a story that I'm interested in, then a lot of the time I'll memorize it. So like this one, for example, obviously I'm interested in all of the lore being put together and like I'm loving this story. Long and short of it.
Yeah.
I can pretty much tell you just off the cuff exactly what happened the entire story so far. Just out of memory.
Yeah.
Okay, question then. In Chapter 3, what was Marcos's favorite cape color?
Bear.
Correct.
I feel like anything to do with Marcus, that's a pretty safe answer. You know, when in doubt, bear.
Specifically a mottled brown.
Mumbles about bear things.
Yeah, specifically a mottled brown, a la grizzly bear. Black bear would probably not be big enough to form a cape for him.
Not with that out.
Yeah, I must admit, Elle, I thought you captured Marcus's spirit so well in that late night writing session.
No, did you actually go through and read all of that?
Yeah, I
I am
read it
back.
all.
Ah, nice. Welcome back.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
Oh yeah, Laurel, did you read through Alana and James's conversation they had in the middle of the night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, good
Oh.
God, there's some good stuff in there. It's just them arguing as usual, just in text form this time. Okay, so you know what, 7. No immediate danger appears. But through the clearing, you see the cat girl that James had dealings with earlier.
Was this the herb one or the 200?
200
This
gold
is the
one.
200 gold one.
Okay.
And she's gonna walk up to Joe and just say, "What the hell are you guys doing here?"
And he points and he goes, "Saving that one's sister. Do not interfere."
She looks at Joe and chuckles and says, "Look at the size of me. Do you think I could interfere? That one could crush me with just a single foot."
Your race is cunning and devious.
And she chuckles again and just says, "That all went to my siblings.
Wow.
But I just come to this spring and sell what comes from it."
Considering you can. Sorry, James is done filling the files. Plural, I hasten to add. And gets up and turns round. Charging prices like that, you can't make that much sales. Maybe, considering how you managed to get here, he looks her up and down. Pretty unscathed. I want to reduce your prices a little bit. Might make some more sales.
She looks James up and down and says, "Only reason I managed to make it here unscathed is because I'm the one that tends to the cats when they need healing."
He grins. In that case, it should be no bother for you to get here anytime you please.
It's not, but girl's gonna make a couple of 100 gold.
Joe goes, "Why? What is there in your village that you would need money to acquire?"
Protection. And James raises an eyebrow at her.
She looks Joe and straight in the eyes and just says, "Freedom. We may be a cunning race, but we are often taken as slaves."
And to that, Joe shows incredible sympathy and nods his head.
Freedom for who? Clearly you are free to come and go as you please.
I was the lucky one. My family, on the other hand, got taken about 7 years ago.
Taken by who?
I have no idea. But I can only assume it was one of the guilds on the mainland coming looking for slaves to sell. And once I've earned enough gold, I'm gonna try and buy their freedom.
If you intend to buy their freedom, surely you know where they're at to buy them.
If I knew where they were at, I would have already hired mercenaries to go and fetch them. Information is not cheap. I need to earn gold before I can actually find them.
And Joe gets very thoughtful and he goes, "What is your name?" And what is the name of your clan?
And she looks up at Joe, just originally rather intimidated by him, but now just coming to like kind of feeling the sympathy between the two. And she says, "My name is Belle, and I don't have a tribe anymore.
What was the name of your tribe? It's important.
Damn it, Laurel."
Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. I'll just get revenge. You know what? Let's go for the Mooncat tribe. I mean, I've already borrowed enough from 14. I might as well borrow a little more. But yeah, the name of her tribe are the Mooncats.
James walks up to her. What do you mean you're not part of the tribe anymore? Mooncats were all over here last time I... And he trails off into silence, glancing around quickly.
They aren't here anymore. They moved on when people started getting taken into mass slavery. They come and in the middle of the night and they take those that are too weak to defend themselves. So the tribe decided to move on to greener pastures, as humans say.
And the forces in town do nothing to prevent this?
They care not for our tribe. They found us more of a nuisance. And she just sort of growls to herself and mutters under her breath. They were probably the ones that told the humans where we were.
And Joe touches Marcus's sleeve and draws him back a little bit from Belle. And then quietly says, "In the ritual that I am to do for Viola, it is possible that I might be able to look into the fate of her family and see who it is that has been taking the cat people of this forest. It may," he goes, "I can't guarantee it, but if you would like, I can try."
Yeah, Marcus is going to look quite pleased to hear this and say, "I think we should do whatever we can to help her."
Joe nods his head.
Out of character here. In order for Joe to do that, Joe would need some sort of memento that may hold memories.
And he's going to go back to Belle. And he says, "Do you have something that your family gave you?" And he goes, "I know you have no reason to trust us. And it cannot be today. But if you give me something that you value from your family because it was a gift from them and it helps you remember them, I may be able to use that to find them and bring them to you. And it will not cost you 200 gold or more. But you should not charge to heal these people." Or you can. Actually, he's like, he starts saying that and then he goes, "Oh, or you can." Either way.
And from a small pouch at her side, she pulls out what looks like a crudely made mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, "My father made this for me when I was just a little kitten."
And Joe takes it and gets a smile on his face. And he goes, if I get your family back to you, what would be your deepest desire for them?
She looks at Joe confused and just says, "I just want to be a family again and to reunite with my tribe."
But what is your tribe going to do to protect yourselves from the humans? How are you going to keep the humans from doing this and continuing to sell you into slavery?
My tribe has moved to a secluded island towards the center of this continent. That they should be safe there. Humans do not venture into that forest.
And Joe nods. And he looks at the others.
Huh. What does it take to do this ritual?
I'll feel better telling you about that once we've returned to Haven. I don't trust that there aren't other servants of the Mad One around.
Yeah, Marcus is gonna finish with the cat and looking around and say, we should be getting back anyway. Ilana needs us.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
reckon you need to find somewhere to be able to send word to Viola.
Yeah, we need to send word to Viola. I'm really racking my brains to try and figure out if there's a way that the little cat girl could contact us. I really don't think there is.
There is not. Unless. I'd assume James would still be keeping an eye on merchant routes.
He is, well, he was when he was in the city, but I mean, he's been out of that. He's not had access to those resources for since the start of the session, since the start of the campaign.
True, true.
The only way that I could see it even being a remote possibility is to throw away my one of my racials.
Oh,
The way I have alarm written, or is that it's essentially like a spell in a bottle, and that's an adaptation of the wizard spell alarm.
hmm.
So
You
if I threw
know,
that away, she could potentially have the vial of that, and if something happened or she needed to get a hold of us, she could break that vial and it would trigger my senses.
I'll allow you to give her the vial, but you are allowed to make more.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Okay. All right. I'll take that because he's a pretty paranoid individual. All right.
Yeah, because I don't want to have you get rid of a spell completely.
Well, to be fair, it's completely well. No, it has had its uses. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it does have its uses.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like when this massive fucking paladin breaks into your camp in the middle of the day.
true. Yeah, that was a pretty alarming event. Um. All right.
Not only did the alarm go off, but the door landed next to James.
Which was pretty impressive, being as he was across the other side of the room, across the other side of the fire, and across the other side of everyone else in the party. So that was a pretty impressive kick.
Yeah, he did roll a 10. But yes. Anyway, you get the feeling maybe if you go back to your village, there may be a way to contact Viola.
Yeah. But yeah, first things first, I am gonna walk up to the little cat girl and kind of kneel down beside her and pull out a vial and just kind of whisper, if anything happens, break this. I will know.
And she gives you a nod and she puts it away safely in her pouch.
Um,
And she hands you a little keepsake. It's a vial of the water, but it's sealed tight so it can't be opened. And she says, keep it for in case you absolutely need it.
he nods. Thank you for everything.
And she's just gonna keep gathering vials.
Oh God.
And that vial she gave you, it can't be uncorked.
Okay.
When you need it, it must be smashed.
Okay. I'm gonna walk back over to the others and say, only way we're going to be able to get word back to Haven is from town.
Then we best head back.
Let's hope I'm not recognized.
Do you still have other family in the town? Or in the area?
He takes a deep breath, and at this point, I don't know. I was keeping tabs on the family shop through merchant routes. I haven't had access to that information for some time now. I don't know what we'll find.
Ah.
I am hesitant to go back. He kind of trails off into silence for a moment. It may not have been a good idea me coming here.
Marcus is going to reach out and put a hand on his shoulder and say that maybe it's time you did come back. I don't know. Oh, okay, black screen.
Sorry. I'm just...
I wasn't sure if that was me or everyone. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't know what happened to you, but maybe it's time you start to resolve it, and you have us with you.
It kind of snorts, half laughing. I'm not worried about myself. The military here are, well, let's just say ignoring the local tribes isn't their only fault. And I used to work for them.
Okay, Marcus is going to look at him, really puzzled by this. What do you mean it's not their own choice?
Wait, what?
Sorry, you were cutting in and out for me there. I must have
Oh,
missed.
damn it. Sorry. Let me adjust the sensitivity on my mic. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so what I said, the...
About the military ignoring the cat tribes.
Yeah, isn't their only fault, and I used to work for them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, to me that came through. It isn't like their fault.
Yeah, no,
So, yeah.
I used to work for them. That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't take kindly to people once they leave.
Out character L, would I as a paladin have any like sway with military stuff?
Depends what the military is. If
Okay.
it's a military in a very paladin-heavy area, then yes.
Okay.
On a small island like this, I'd say you'd have a lot less influence.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And realistically, the military he's saying here is more like almost like a kind of powerful militia. It's to protect the natural resources of this island chain, which
Right.
is a major export. So yeah, it's
Yeah, if anything, they're not going to take kindly to some random paladin walking up and be like, "Yeah, do what I say."
yeah, no.
Fair
you're
enough.
you're likely to get shot, stabbed, and or both.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't call me out on a. I thought you used to be a doctor.
I don't know if I know that about you.
Actually, yeah, right enough, you don't.
No, like I know next to nothing about your past before meeting you in this group. I think so.
Huh. Oh well. Joe knows I'm a doctor, or I call myself a doctor.
That's true.
Joe's just like, yeah, first I met him, he was staring me down. And now I'm involved in fucking dragon bullshit.
Joe loves dragon bullshit. There's something wrong with him.
He's just like, you know what? If I can't find Farmer, maybe my tribe will let me back if I bring them the dragon they worship.
See, I'm convinced that eventually they're going to get me to Farmer, and I'm going to get Farmer to his wife. But I'm having way too much fun along the way right now.
Oh, good. Now, let's see. So you're heading back to your original village.
Yeah.
And let me just get you. Like, nothing's going to attack you on the way. The cats were just sort of closing in to just try and intimidate, but, you know, they're assholes.
Yeah. Cat's like, yeah, you guys have been here too long. Get the fuck out.
It's our drinking time. And you know, as you get back to this little area, you notice smoke coming from where the village is.
Uh-oh. Out of character, that was.
Yeah, in character, it's like, ooh, fire.
Joe immediately says, I didn't do that.
And like, there's a pathway that leads down to the village that crosses a stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna recognize that that's like not normal, even. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, smoke coming from a village in this amount is never normal.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure how. Yeah, so he's gonna kind of speed up and yeah, beeline for that village.
And as you're approaching, you can see fire, just buildings and.
I mean, you've been
huts
busy
on
behind the
fire.
scenes.
Oh yeah. While you guys were having conversations, I was building this scene.
Yeah.
And
I was kind of confused for a second. Okay, go on.
At the far end, over at the pier, you see a rather intimidating figure.
Oh, God.
Huh.
What's up?
I just noticed, I'm looking at 3DS games. I just noticed that the fairy in Bravely Default, it's the exact same model as the EOS and Celine.
Oh, god damn it.
Because it's Akihiko Yoshida who did that art too.
Ah. Cool.
But yes, you come into this village, and at the end of the village, you see this big, almost skeletal-like figure with huge wings, just wielding a scythe and cutting down anyone that tries to flee in that direction.
Is it being attacked by guards or is it just by itself?
The guards are all dead at this point.
Oh, well, okay.
Witnessing this, I think Marcus would be starting to charge towards it.
Yeah.
Innocent lives and all that. Paladin behavior.
Damn it. I was told by Dio to keep you guys alive.
Yeah, sorry. This seeing this village on fire, seeing that thing, like this is my home ground. You think Marcus was in rage mode? Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to pop. I'm going to try and pop Thornbody potion and then my mutagen. I need to figure out what that is though. So that's an int roll for that. 8. Oh shit. 7 to 9. Functions, but choose one. I'm just gonna drink all of it, so the rest goes inert. Like he's literally just gonna drink it and throw it away.
Okay.
So I get the
What's that
thorns.
potion do?
Thornbody is anything that attacks it gets 1d6 damage.
Okay.
So let's do that one. And then, as I say, I'm going to pop my mutagen as well.
By the way,
After that.
Marcus might want to keep the cat back.
Yeah, I wasn't sure like how much control I had over it, or
Yeah, that cat, it's not like a companion, it's just a hireling. It's
Yeah.
gonna use its own smarts to stay back.
yeah, fair enough.
And is Joe gonna make any preparations for this after seeing this figure?
Joe is making preparations for this, and Joe is, actually, you know what? Joe recognizes that he might be more of a liability in direct hand-to-hand combat to his friends than whatnot. Joe is going to try and take control of the flames and get the fire itself.
Is he like a T-Rex with tiny arms?
Yeah. Well, let's see. He fell on his face twice in a row in the last.
You said he wasn't that. He
combat.
would liability in hand-to-hand combat. And I could just picture a little T-Rex with short arms.
Fantastic.
With Joe, it's like you fall on your face charging the enemy. The dragon's making the room shake. Roll dex to stay on your feet. You fall on your face again.
So Joe's going to try and take care of the fire in the village.
Okay, you're gonna use the fire for anything specific?
Actually, if I can control the flames itself, then I might use that to give my friends some advantage and like
Okay.
use that as a weapon.
Alright, so Marcus is the first to charge.
Yeah, I was gonna say as I'm running down this central thing towards it, I'd like to unsheath the sword and call out to a little prayer, and if I can activate magic weapon again.
Go ahead.
No, what's that one? Cast a spell. The spell is cast, but choose one. Okay, so I'm going to choose your casting distances you from your deity. Take -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time you commune.
Oh. But you know, let's go. Let's get this hitting.
Yeah. So yeah, as he's running down, the sword drawn and now wreathed in holy flame, and he's going to leap onto this thing, sword held out in front of him, and try and do some damage that way.
Alright, roll for me, bitch.
9.
Ooh, 9.
Okay, so four.
4. And as you're swinging at him, your sword meets with his scythe. But you manage to slide the blade down the hilt of the scythe into his hand, leaving him with only one hand on the scythe, but also leaving you open to a hit.
Awesome.
And he's going to take his counterattack.
Okay.
And with being off balance by only having one hand on the scythe, he lightly grazes your armor with the scythe, but that's about it.
Nice.
Now, Joe.
Oh.
Laurel?
Yes. So Joe Joe just got a 7 this time on trying to seize the flame.
So 7 is... Hold on, I've got Immolator up, so let me go find it.
I think it's where I can
Short-lived.
short-lived. So what Joe's probably going to do then is since he knows he doesn't have a great good control of it, is to put it out instead.
Okay, the fire in the villages have gone out.
And then he's going to charge into battle with his friends, and now he'll just be focusing on summoning his own flame.
Like the fires have gone out, or one building is just now really, really fiery.
Well, Joe moves it all to one place that extinguishes it all at once. Okay, and James.
Yeah, so after he downs those 2 potions, he's gonna just take off full speed down that path. His jacket is going to end up coming off at some point in that because those spikes will just tear through it. So he gets rid of that probably about halfway down before the spikes really actually truly protrude all the way. But when he reaches, like, just in... Actually, he's going to run straight for Marcus's back and use Marcus as a step stool and just try and take that thing's head clean off.
Okay, roll.
Nice.
And yeah,
Roll
yeah,
me that damage.
he's going to be trying to do as much damage as he can, so he's going to trigger that dagger ability as well.
Okay.
So is that 1d4 on top of that?
It's a d6 on top of that.
Okay, I'm just going to roll damage twice then.
That is 9 damage. And as you are slashing away at this skull, one of your daggers manages to embed itself in the side of the skull. That being the dagger that you triggered in, that was given to you by the Earth Dragon itself.
Okay, makes sense that one gets stuck, being as the shape of it goes into when it's triggered.
Yeah. And as it expands and changes its form inside the skull, it chips away at it. But not much damage being done to the actual creature itself. And it's the creature's turn. And he is just going to cleave straight in front of him.
Oops. Ah, get out from under there. There we go.
Ooh.
Oh,
That wasn't as bad as I expected. I saw the 6.
it's still a 7, so it's a hit. And let me find the correct dice for its damage.
But then does he not also open himself up to counter?
Yes. And James, you're still in cleave range, so...
Okay, so
So we both take 7 damage?
Yes.
Okay.
But take your armor off of it.
yeah.
So
That's
6
4.
damage. That's 9. It's 5 damage. Okay. He also
And
takes
roll-
1d6 of damage.
Yeah, roll the damage on him.
It's not. Oh, wait, actually, hold up. He might not take that. Give me a second.
He's using a scythe, but he can take the damage. Maybe his hand comes in contact with you.
Yeah, if a scythe has reach, then he doesn't take it.
Yeah, I'd say the scythe has reach, but I'd also say that he's a bit clumsy at the moment after taking a hit directly to the skull.
Fair enough.
So he just grazes you with his hand and takes the 2 damage.
I want to take the opportunity to counter attack, being as he opened himself up, but I know fine well Marcus is going to do a lot more damage.
Actually, it's Joe's turn to resolve.
All right. Joe is going to try and Burning Brand.
Okay.
And I was meaning the because he opened himself up to damage.
Yeah. Oh. When Joe tries to summon the burning brand, the fire starts to ignite in his hand, but just fizzles out. And yeah, would you like to attempt another move?
Who was that?
Laurel.
You know what? It helps if I hold down the right button.
Yeah.
This time, Joe is going to close his eyes and focus and concentrate and reach out to Viola and try again. And this time, use the the wristband and try and summon
Okay.
Burning Brand.
Did you come up with a special ability for the bracelet, by the way?
That gosh, now I'm gonna have to come up with one because I'm on the line. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it so that using the bracelet gives him +2 on summoning fire.
I can allow that.
Yay!
So roll again, but remember you can only use this once a session.
Once a session, yes. So that would be a 10.
A 10. So pick your weapon and what tags it's going to have.
All right. The tags that it's going to have is, let's see, choose 2 of the following. I'm removing dangerous, and I'm adding +1 damage.
Okay. And is this taking any specific shape?
It is taking the shape of Marcus uses a sword, correct?
Yes.
Great sword.
Two-handed, yeah.
Yeah, it's taking the shape very much like Marcus's two-handed sword, just because Joe greatly admires that weapon and the holiness of that weapon. So he's going to swing this brand like it comes across as this glowing, dark, flaming, two-handed sword, and he's going to try and heft it straight into the foe.
Okay, roll me that intelligence.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh.
So it does 2 damage.
Yes. And while Joe's running up to the enemy, he brushes past Marcus, which makes him lose his footing a little bit, but he keeps on track and manages to hit. But the loss of footing caused him to lose a lot of the momentum behind it. But he still manages to inflict a wound onto this thing. And at this point, this creature is backing off. Since it's taken a lot of damage. And, like, it starts to speak to you all. And it says in this deep, demonic, and scratchy voice, how a mere mortal was able to wound me.
And Marcus is gonna step forward, holding the sword out visible. And he's gonna say in a booming voice, I may be mortal, but behind me stands a god. And I have killed one of the mad god's servants already today, and you shall be the next. And I want to use that as my exterminate us and give me the bonus against it, please.
Okay. And you can go ahead and attack, since you still owed one counterattack.
Is this the part where you respond to this ancient immortal being with "Get Good, Scrub"?
Yes.
So, yeah, Marcus is just walking forward at a steady pace, and he's just going to bring the sword down, like, on its chest, and as, like, carrying it through, go for another slash back, and does
Good God!
22 damage.
Fucking
Wow.
hell!
That was 1 point away from being perfect.
You know what? Your sword comes crashing down on its chest. Unable to actually cut through it, your sword gets diverted down to the side and cuts one of its wings off. And then on the second slash, manages to take off one of its legs. And this thing is just screeching and just crawling away down the dock with its wings, with its wing and leg just laying on the dock.
I'm gonna go after it. I'm not done with this fucker.
Okay.
Not to mention, it's still got my knife impaled in its skull.
I reckon that once it hit the ground, the knife would have fallen out.
Well, why is that still a 15? That needs to be 10 on there. Sorry. Damn it. There we go. So yeah, I'm gonna attempt an attack on that. It's a 10. He's essentially gonna, like, you know how in Assassin's Creed you sort of run along the freaking dock, the bollards on the docks. It's essentially going to be that to avoid the wings and leg that probably still flailing around on the dock. He's going to stop briefly to retrieve that knife, and yeah, it's just going to go for an attack on the demon itself. Probably
Okay.
relatively easily to get, being as it's down a wing and a leg. Did you say, or arm?
A wing and a leg, but unfortunately for you, something else has arrived.
Ruh-roh.
Oh.
And she just stands in front of this creature. with just her scythe out.
Then she's getting the attack.
Okay. Roll me damage and take minus 100.
I mean, I'll roll it, but yeah, there's no fucking point. There you go.
Your dagger just... she catches it almost like Viola catches swords. And she throws you back.
Um,
And you land at Marcus's feet.
I really want to make a comment to her before she gets to throw me back, but alright.
Go on, make the comment.
Oh, I didn't think you were actually going to let me do that. God damn it.
Don't fucking say it if you're not prepared.
I straight up thought you were just going to say, nope, she just throws you back.
No, you have time while she's throwing you back to make your little comment.
Go on, smartass.
And you know, while that's going on,
chaos, right?
What, this being?
Yeah.
No. I was actually going to make the other two roll for that. Well, actually, Joe wouldn't have much contact with this power. Marcus.
Yeah.
Roll wisdom to see if you recognize the power that's coming from this.
8.
You recognize it pretty damn well. Not perfectly, but you get the general gist that this is not something you want to fight right now, and that this, in fact, is the Mad God itself.
Yeah,
Huh.
he's going to be quite taken aback that that she is not what he expected, recognizing that this is the Mad God S. But he's going to have a moment of happiness that they've made her appear. You know, she has had to come to them. So, but yeah, he's frozen for the moment.
And Joe.
Oh man.
Seeing all of this take place, are you going to make some plea out to Viola?
You know, that was what Laurel was thinking of before that. That Joe was going to look at the Mad God and feel her power lash towards all of them, and reach out to Viola and go
Help!
home, home, home.
Okay. So, and as Joe is going through that in his mind, you can hear a screeching of a dragon. And just this wall of black flame separates the docks between both groups. And Viola herself lands. So, Silver, have you thought of the sassy thing to say to her yet?
Oh, I just did. Like, he doesn't care who it is at this point. He just knows that she's in command, and yeah, just as I said in the chat, finally show yourself, bitch, and yeah, gets thrown back on his ass.
Okay, and you guys have been given a moment by this wall of flame.
Can I roll a dex to see if I land on my feet or on my ass?
You're gonna land on your ass.
God damn it.
You weren't expecting to throw at all. And you've been given a moment by this wall of flame that the mad goddess, she's just sort of like backing away from the flames since it's Viola's flame specifically. And Viola has landed and is giving everyone a chance to hop on her back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Joe's there.
Yeah. Marcus is sheathing the sword and climbing on board.
You might want to hold on to that just a second there, buddy. Like James is literally stalking up and down that, like back and forth on that pier, just staring through the fire at her. He's not moving. Like he is not paying any attention to Viola. He is still pissed.
I'm going to take one look at Marcus and go, knock him out.
Marcus is so good at that.
Yep. Yeah, Marcus is going to turn to Joe and look back at James and nod. And, yeah.
I'm going to roll a defy danger right here.
I'm gonna have Viola assist.
Assist me?
Yes. Oh, she fails.
Awesome. Right, so what...
She is a great dragon.
She's distracted. She's got the fire burning on the bridge. She's materialized herself in this realm. It's no surprise she fucked up.
Okay, so, yeah. Marcus jumps down off of Viola and walks up behind James as he's pacing back and forward, staring at the Mad God, and is going to try and just, bump him on, well, I guess like the back of the neck, just with his, armored fist.
Alright, roll me strength.
Friend. 7.
Okay. James, roll defy danger. Good fucking god, you guys are trying to get yourselves killed. Alright, James manages to mainly get away from the punch. The punch does connect, though.
Then better take 1d6 damage.
Okay, that's 1 damage.
Yeah, I'm not gonna add that to the frickin' rolls. But okay.
Okay, and
It's gonna make James realize, like, okay, something's going on. What the fuck? And then he's gonna realize that it's gonna bring him to his senses. I'm not going to draw that out very much longer. Yeah, it's
good,
gonna.
because I was about to just have the both of them cross the bridge and kick your ass.
Yeah, it's gonna bring him to his senses, and yeah, he's gonna come around and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you've got to be alive to break it to Alana that your mother's dead too.
Oh.
I don't know that.
You don't, but you can basically assume that everyone in the village either died or escaped narrowly.
Yep. As I say, I have no idea. I didn't see
Yeah.
them. I don't know that my dad's dead. I don't know my mum's dead. I haven't seen either of them.
Okay.
Wait,
I don't know.
I thought Alana had told you that your father was dead in that conversation.
Nope. She
She
doesn't
said
know
she
either.
didn't know.
Alright, okay.
And Viola's she's going to take flight and take you guys back to the sanctuary. And she's really shaken up after that event.
Where the fuck did my pen go? There it is.
Like, she lands and, like, lets you guys off, turns into her human catgirl kind of form, and she is just on the ground trembling.
So Marcus is going to take one look at her, and then angrily is going to spin and stalk towards James and just grab him by the scruff of the neck and be like, "What the hell were you thinking? You could have got us all killed, and then what would have happened to your sister?" And he's just going to like throw him over towards Alana.
Ooh.
Joe's going to be very quiet.
The usual for Joe, then.
No, Joe's hunting
Yes.
rabbit. It's rabbit season.
Yeah, James is actually going to completely ignore Marcus. And he is going to walk straight up to Alana and look up at fuck, what's her name?
Layla.
Layla. Okay. And the only vial that was actually saved was that one from the cat girl, because, as I say, he left it, he dropped his jacket on that run down there. So literally the only vial that was saved was that one.
Oh.
Yep. So he looks up at I've forgotten her name already. Layla? Yeah.
Yeah.
And says we're only able to get one vial. Will it be enough?
She nods to you. She says it will make the recovery slower, but it will. She will recover in time.
Is it something that's just like taken orally?
You can distill it into a more drinkable form, like a tea, if you wish. But yeah, it's taken orally. Now you wait till I make you give someone a suppository.
Good news, everybody!
Yeah, so he cracks off the top of the file and puts it to her lips and well, attempts to get her to drink it.
And it goes down pretty well. And once it's in her body, you see the black mark begin to fade.
Okay. Look up at Layla again. Can we move her somewhere more comfortable?
She says, I shall move her to my personal chambers.
Thank you.
Marcus is going to wander over and offer offer to carry her over. But yeah.
Layla's a strong enough dragon.
Yeah. Would Marcus just be able to follow to, like, be by her side, or?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Cute.
Although you're going to be needed in a minute anyway.
Just a second, guys.
Okay.
Okie doke.
Okay, well, I'll just say that he hasn't moved yet.
And when Laurel gets back, we can go ahead with this ritual that
Oh, yeah,
Viola
okay.
wanted to be performed.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back. Now,
Actually, before you go carry on there, James is actually going to walk away a little bit from the group and just kind of, not really paying much attention, but just in his own mind.
and Viola gets up off of the floor and goes over to Joe and says, I need you to perform the ritual now.
All right. And I imagine there is a place of power here. Yes, in the Haven.
Sorry, what'd you say, Laurel?
Sorry.
I got distracted by Dio messaging me.
Of course you would. Laurel, out of character, I was saying, where's the place of power here in the Haven?
Viola's chambers is where she wants you to perform it specifically.
Okay. So, and I bet you want me to describe what the ritual is going to be.
You can describe what the ritual is going to be. I'll describe what you see.
Okay. So,
I actually have a map laid out for this.
Ooh, I want to see the map.
Then perform the ritual.
Joe has four candles. Lights them in each of the corners, and they are white and black, white and black. So they kind of create two different cross lines. And then in the center of it, he kneels down after setting up a small circle of stones, and he places himself in the center, and he says, if I was a human, I would hold my hand over a living flame to feel the pain of the flame as I was embracing it. But because I do not burn, he goes, I will need to be cut. And I assume that Marcus and James are here, correct?
Marcus is there, and you can assume that Marcus dragged James in with him.
All right. And I'm going to hold my hand out to James and extend my arm, and I go, will you cut me?
Yeah. Before you even finish the sentence, there's a line of blood on your arm.
Yeah. And then I wave my arm slowly back and forth across the flames, and I start making that trill sound of mine. But this is very slow and shamanic as I'm waving it and kind of weaving back and forth.
And as you're doing this, the room changes. And it becomes enveloped in almost an illusion. With Viola standing there, just still shaking. And James and Marcus being able to see everything that's going on. And the vision becomes clear. It is of a battlefield. And what you can see is just chaos. And Viola's just going to look at the three of you and say, this is the truth about the final battle.
Oh, God.
And in this vision, you can see essentially every single one of the priestess that is in the village fighting to their last, with Viola herself channeling her power into what looks like their final, like their last ditch effort to end this. And the 6 dragons, of course, surrounding the mad goddess herself. And, interestingly enough, Artio is on the battlefield too.
Yay!
And this was to be her final resting place.
No.
Since not long after this, she got torn to shreds by the cultist.
And I'm so happy I got to avenge that.
And you can see that the dragons are also channeling their power. And Viola says to you, I was the only one that got out alive that day. All of the others died on that battlefield.
She's talking about the dragons, right?
No, she's talking about the
Everyone?
priest.
Oh.
Everyone there. Except for the mad goddess, the Anya, the earth dragon, and the holy dragon managed to survive. Oh no, Anya died. Yeah, it was the Earth, Nature, and Holy Dragon. Those 3 managed to survive, and the cultist leaders managed to survive. But everyone else on the battlefield perished, including Sophia.
That's why I wanted the clarification.
Yes. And this final battle, the 2 powers, they clashed. And in this clash, it made the mad goddess a lot weaker. It also made Viola a lot weaker. And in this final battle, actually, would anyone like to roll to see if they notice anything out of the ordinary?
What are we rolling for that?
Wisdom.
I'll roll.
I got a 10.
Okay. And once both of the fireballs are fired, James and Marcus, actually, all 3 of you notice that Viola's fireball is aimed not where you'd think. And James and Marcus both notice that Viola's fireball is not aimed directly at the mad goddess. In fact, it's only aimed at the front lines of the enemy.
So can we see like the present day Viola in this, or is it just like her voice?
It's just her voice.
Okay.
Like, everyone can faintly see each other around,
Uh-huh.
and the present day Viola's in there as well. But she's just sort of slumped into a corner after seeing all this again. And the vision then fades. And before we go into the questioning of Viola, would Joe like to make the offering of the mirror to see if he can get any information on that?
Yes, he would.
Okay, go ahead and burn the mirror as well.
Would that be another wisdom roll?
I'm gonna let you have this one for free.
Excellent. So Joe will cast in the river and ask to see the future and the present of Belle Mooncat's family.
Okay, Laurel, tell me what you see.
So I see that they were doing their normal Mooncat thing in they were gathering, they were tending the young children, that there'd been some kind of minor festival or whatnot, and for whatever reason Belle was out. She might have just gone running off with a boy cat or whatever. Doesn't matter. And everyone else starts drinking some wine that had been gifted to them by a neighbor, a human neighbor. And they all the adults fall asleep. And some human slavers show up with the neighbor, and they basically tie them up, and they gag the children, and they put them into a cart, and they take them off to the nearest port. And the dream shifts from then to the family is in servitude in a human lord's keep, and they're serving according to their age and their station, but they're all collared. And this human servant, as this lord turns to us, we see he is making an offering to the mad god.
That's interesting.
I like that.
And I'm gonna make your next mission while Dio's away to go rescue them.
Yay!
And so, now back to before. After what you've seen in the vision, and Viola still in the corner, just looking terrified. Would anyone like to go any lines of questioning?
James just asks, why show us that?
And she's still trembling, and she just says, why? To show you that I'm in this not just for my siblings. I want to end that. She's not what she once was.
If you wanted to end it, perhaps attacking the source as opposed to your front lines. Why?
I was weak back then. I thought that there was still a way to save her.
Joe is going to look at Viola and go, "You loved her, didn't you?"
Viola's just gonna look at you in panic and just say, "How did you know?"
And he just nods his head slowly, and he goes, "Because that makes the only thing that makes sense. You wanted to save her even then."
And she shakes her head, trying to recompose herself, and just says, "I should have known. There was no saving her. She was too far gone." And she then goes on to tell you that she was once young and naive. Her siblings used to refer to her as just being too open to the humans and too friendly with them. And one day, she broke the biggest taboo that the dragons could have. And that is, she started to love a certain human. And knowing that this relationship would last but an instant for Viola from living so long. And Viola, knowing this, broke it off with the human. But in doing so, the human went and sought a way that she could be with Viola forever. And in return for in return for immortality and power, she gave her own sanity. And Viola, almost with a tear in her eyes, just says, "Everything that happened was because of me."
Joe is just dumbstruck.
Yeah, Marcus is just standing very, very solemn, just looking very sad.
God damn it, Dag.
That wasn't Dag.
Not this time.
James is going to shock absolutely everybody, and he's actually going to walk up, kneel down in front of her, and actually put his arms around her, and just hold her too close to his chest, and he's going to whisper something to her that I'm going to message Elle directly.
Oh my.
But it's the other two, yeah, will not hear it. Absolutely not.
Oh my.
Oh my.
But yeah, then he's gonna kind of lean back and, you said she was crying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna reach up and wipe away a tear from her face. And he's actually gonna smile at her.
And she's just completely in shock that James would even go near her. And she's just holding on to him tight. And she's gonna whisper something. But I'm gonna make this open information. She's just gonna whisper in return. Your soul is your own to keep. Whatever happens, I shall not take it. But please, will you help me stop this?
interesting, being as what I just messaged you.
Yes, that is rather interesting. And,
Um,
and he looks to the other two as well. And says to Marcus, "It's not my place to ask this since you already serve Layla. But please, just help. Before you came along, it was just a long run of defeats."
Marcus is just going to look her directly in the eyes and says, "I will see this through. Even if I have to give my life for it, we will see this done."
And she gives a curtsy, and then she goes to Joe. And she says, "I already know that you'll serve, so I just want to thank you."
And he smiles. He smiles at her and he goes, "I serve, but I serve by choice and with a willing heart." And he makes an odd gesture that she'll recognize, the humans wouldn't, where it isn't just a gesture of submission, but it's a gesture of him literally gesturing to her that he is putting his heart in her hands, and that he is happy to be here. And then he kisses her on the nose.
what the actual fuck?
and grins at her and goes, "You are the weakest and most human goddess I've ever imagined meeting." And I kind of like that. I think you should keep it. I think it makes you better than the other gods. And who knows?
She's just gonna chuckle, and she says, "You try that again, and all hell's gonna be let loose."
And he looks so torn and he goes, "I won't try it again."
And she's just gonna jump up on your shoulder and pet you.
Aww. Players remind me that I need to tell Ilana to try to kiss Viola on the nose.
Wow.
Oh, good God, the lizard's trying to get the bear killed. And Viola looks at all of you, and she says, "Once Alana's recovered, we shall go after one of my sisters." The only way to stop the mad goddess is to take away her power over the dragons.
James is going to make the comment. Well, let's hope her recovery is swift with only one vial of the water. And he's actually going to look up at Marcus and say, "You and I need to talk in private."
Oh.
And then he looks over at Viola in private.
Viola's just gonna gesture for Joe to take her out to the water side.
Oh, no. That was more her not snooping.
Oh, she wouldn't snoop on that.
Oh, bullshit, she
But-
wouldn't.
Well, it's within her domain. She knows everything that's said in here anyway.
It's exactly why he said it to her specifically. But anyways.
Yeah, so Marcus will just look at him and nod and say, "Very well."
And everyone can heal up at this point. Although I think
Yeah.
Joe didn't take any damage.
No, Joe didn't actually.
No, Joe was playing it safe this time instead of getting in the way of a dragon.
For once.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm the only one. I think I'm the one that got the brunt of it, at least.
I took a little. Well, yeah, we both shared that cleave, so.
Yeah,
But yeah, I had more armor than you.
yeah. For now. For now.
Yeah,
For-
yeah. I'm just saying, if the Mad Goddess had attacked, it might have been another D20.
Yeah.
Let me do some quick math here.
I actually
You
would have been fine with that.
You would have had a 1 in 4 chance of dying.
I would have had a 1 in 5 chance of dying.
Either way, you were pretty fucked.
Yeah. But
The latest move I picked up, I would have been fine because I can negate 1 damage and take a debility instead. So, so I could have just chose not to took that.
Okay, are you two gonna have that conversation during the session or after?
we can have it after, as an aside. If
Okay,
Marcus, you're good with that.
Yep, that sounds fine to me. Yep.
okay, and that is where I shall end the session.
Alrighty.
Viola's not gonna leave Joe's side, so
Aw.
Marcus is going to go and check on Alana.
also fun fact for you, Marcus.
Yes.
Alana has requested that you be the one holding her when she wakes up.
Is that a legitimate thing, or are you just?
Yes, that is a legitimate thing. That's what Dio was messaging me about.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, well, I'm planning to. Yeah, Marcus won't be back at his home while she's recovering. He's going to be by her side.
And Layla's gonna be there just channeling good energies. Okay, let's take the tally.
Alright. Where is that button? Thank you.
No problem. Okay,
Also,
so
Silver, I loved your idea of writing session start.
yes, that
was-
helps a lot.
It
That
drove
was
me
great.
mad trying to find that the other time, so yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't going through that again.
Nope, that was good thinking.
Okay, so but bonds. Anyone fulfilled any bonds?
Not Joe did not.
I think my bond with Joe is very much going to be in your court, Laurel.
Oh, wait,
Um,
wait. My bond. James is beloved by the obsidian dragon, and I must teach him to love her back.
Oh,
He was loving her back today, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I'm gonna say yes to that. The bickering back and forth hasn't had near as much venom as I think people have been picking up on.
yeah, those two have just been giving each other shit for the sake of giving each other shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, so
So-
my one with
Sorry, go
Joe is Joe believes Artio, which is my deity, to be weak and unworthy. I will show him the truth. So that's very much going to be up to you as to when you feel that's resolved.
I mean, you saw Artio on the battlefield just slaughtering cultist after cultist.
but the question then would be, was she actually in bear form at that point?
She never has a bear form. She
has a
actually
bear
has a
companion.
bear companion, which, because of the actual strength of the deity, is the one she manifests the most.
Okay. So then the question would be, would Joe recognize Artio as Artio, and not a bear. If I don't know,
I'm
that's
pretty
that's
sure-
yours to figure out.
Yeah, that's theirs to figure out. But
I'm just being me.
would you say that Joe believes in the power of RTO yet?
Laurel?
That's a good question. Actually, I'd say Joe. RT is no longer considered food, but I don't think Joe has gotten up to deity yet.
Okay.
Helpful.
So step in the right direction, but maybe not there quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think any of mine have been got. Marcus says, how much more sacrifice does his mistress require? He has already saved more souls than she demands. And Joe's people intrigue me, and I would learn more of their culture. I mean, I guess we learned that, or I guess James learned that the ritual is from his people, but
Yes.
that's.
I mean, you learn more about his culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to think almost like a sit-down conversation between the two of them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. Like, that's just one aspect of it, and yeah.
Well,
I don't think
How
that's
work-
fulfilled yet.
We'll work on that next session.
yeah. How about alignment then?
Joe did not spread dangerous ideas this time.
Ah. Yeah, he spread sensible ideas, like, stop the fucking alchemist from killing himself.
Yeah.
I don't think I endangered myself to protect anyone.
You went back into the maw of danger and rescued a dumbass alchemist.
Yeah, I'd count that.
Okay, fair enough.
Mine's uncover and share the secrets of the universe.
I don't think you really uncovered or shared any secrets.
We found the fountain of whatever the fuck that is.
True.
We uncovered the little dwarf was not a hunter, and was a hunter but wasn't a hunter, but was serving the mad god and murdered him. We uncovered
Found out he was the one that killed my deity.
He was there for it.
It was his cultist that did it.
Yeah.
Okay. We also uncovered the fact that the cats in that forest get their abilities from drinking the
Yeah,
spring
I
water.
suppose I'll give you that one.
Okay, so 1. Yay!
Okay, and did we learn something new and important about the world?
See above?
See above, but also see battle.
Definitely.
So,
The battle, and what was going on in the village that the twins come from.
Yep. And the slavers taking the cats hostage as slaves, and the fact that they'd moved the Mooncats had actually moved on to a different island. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would say we got. Well, thank you, headset.
Okay, so did you overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Hunter.
Yes, we did.
Yes, you did, so take another EXP for that one. Did we loot any memorable treasure?
I got my booty stick. Does that count?
Absolutely.
I was gonna say the cat.
Oh, did the cat come with?
Yeah, the cat's with you.
Speaking of which, where the
he's
hell is
not
Spider
my
Bro?
own
He
cat.
disappeared midway through last session, and I haven't seen him since.
Yeah, where the fuck is Spider Bro? Actually?
Like he was gonna
Hold on.
come, he was gonna come with last session, but he never made it to the city map. So I was like, all right, he's just on he's just on the village map. He just decided not to come through the portal. But then when we came back, he'd buggered off.
Oh, you should have said then. I could have bought Spider Bro through easily. And I'll throw down Panther Bro for you.
So are we saying yes to that last one?
Yeah, I'd let you count the stick and the tiger. Because I mean,
Um,
the stick was bloody hilarious.
It was, that was awesome. The vial of antidote or whatever would be considered memorable as well.
Yeah.
True.
Cool.
So we have an act. I don't know actually. Laurel's let me in the past in our other game have me looting animals as memorable loot.
Yeah, but it was dragon poop and it turned into emeralds.
No. I mean, you let me have when I looted the cat. You let me have that as memorable loot.
Oh, yes, I did. You rode the cat. It was a freaking yeah.
But
Yeah,
then you
I
took
missed
it
that
away.
cat.
Way.
Oh, I know you took it away. It hurt inside.
Okay, so
Okay, and Spider Bro has returned.
yay!
Good God, that's a big spider, bro.
And Marcos, you can name the cat,
Ooh, nice.
and I'll throw you up a sheet for it after the session.
Cute.
Okay, and Spider Bro.
So is-
Yay, he's back.
Like, how is that the cat going to work? Is it going to be like a ranger pet or?
No, it's going to be a hireling.
Right, he's keeping it as a hireling. Cool.
Yeah, basically it can assist you with stuff and occasionally in combat, but once it's dead, it's dead.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh yeah, Laurel. Here's a question. Would you like Joe to come across anything that he could take as maybe a little companion for him?
I would like something amphibious to be his companion.
Ooh.
Like a little like a turtle or a lizard or a snake.
You know, you pick one. I can work with all three.
I kind of want him to have a flying snake.
So a dragon.
A very Did you ever read the Anne McCaffrey Dragons of Pern books?
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I want a
which
fire
one?
lizard.
Yes.
Yeah. They look like. Did you see Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Back in the early season, you know how the dragons when what's her face?
Just small, long
the
neck.
little baby dragons. That
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
fire lizard. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll call them fire lizards because I've already told Dio she can't have a pet dragon.
Yes, we will call them fire lizards.
Yes, but I can allow that. They look like dragons. And let's write in that they do it out of defense and instinct. Since looking like this big threatening creature would cause predators to think twice.
Yes.
I like this. And I shall find a way to let you find one of them.
Thank you.
Maybe while we're off finding the cat girl's parents. But by the way, I may have borrowed some tokens from the village.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that one.
That was certainly an interesting discovery that all of these cat girls were dead.
Yeah,
that's going to be an interesting.
I'm surprised no one questioned about that.
It makes me sad.
I'm going to, but that's going to be that's going to be a conversation as an aside as well.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see where that was going to go with Sophia.
Yep.
Pretty
That'll be
much
wanted.
along the lines of Viola gave him the same offer that she gave to James. Except Dares doesn't come with any conditions because Viola feels guilty since they died fighting her battle.
Mm-hmm.
When we were speaking to that cat girl at the spring, I so expected her to come back with us. I thought we had picked up another body.
No.
We're just bringing everybody back to here.
It wouldn't make sense with her story because the reason she stayed behind after her tribe had left was in case her family returned.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense for her to just ditch the place. And I think we took care of the problem there pretty fucking well. The only reason the Mad Goddess showed herself is because not only is that her elite bodyguard you took on, but that's also kind of her lover.
Were we supposed to fight that thing, or?
I was expecting you guys to fight it a little bit, but have it destroy you.
Okay.
And then Viola come in and save the day.
Yeah.
God damn you guys and your roles.
Yeah, Paladin can be scary.
To be fair, Elle, I think about that on the Sunday game all the time.
Which time is she going to kill us this time? Is she going to kill us this time? No, not this time. Not this time.
It's like, well, with Laurel, like originally at the start, there was this dragon turtle that was meant to be an enemy, but somehow we befriended it.
Yeah, that turned out really well.
I know, I found that hilarious when I found out that it was meant to be an enemy. And now I know how you feel, Laurel. These guys do it to me all the fucking time.
See?
Farmer
See
was
how it
meant to be
goes?
an enemy. Fucking.
It was thanks to Farmer ending up as an NPC that inspired me to play a gecko of my own. So I'm really pleased.
I love.
And I know I came up with an actual name for them, but I like gecko as shorthand.
I loved that race became so beloved by you guys. Like
that one innocent little token that you plotted on that map, and
It's
just
become
found so
lore,
much story.
That's awesome.
I actually can't wait for the session on Sunday, Laurel. It's gonna be interesting for sure.
For sure. And I find it funny. It's like, okay, we're going to go off into the forest at a spring and for a girl to save her.
But one, I totally didn't borrow this session from you.
And it's not like it's, the same person's girl or anything,
Or anything.
Oh, I know. And especially with, like, the curse especially wasn't caused by the same person.
It's crazy how many similarities have happened by random chance between the two games.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. When I came up with this session, I wasn't actually remembering we're going into the forest to find a spring in Laurel's session, so
Right.
we came together by chance.
I find it hilarious. But no, that's okay. You've inspired me to
Is there going to be a tribe of cat girls?
maybe not.
Oh,
Not cat girls. We'll see.
See, this is going to be interesting because I'll roll one thing in this session and it might go poorly, and then when I get to the next game, I can be like, okay, I might just try that again. See if I can do better this time.
That video I just posted, that's that waterfall flowing upwards that I was talking about. Just for future for your reference. And I just before I shut down the recording thing here, I do want to say specifically after the conversation between James and Marcus, James is going to be spending every moment in Ilana's room. Like he's pretty much he's like not gonna sleep, not gonna eat like nothing. He is just there the entire time.
But
I'm-
it seems Joe's gonna do chores around the village for free since no one wants to leave a ladder.
Joe will suffer in silence.
Oh, I feel bad for Joe.
Oh, don't feel bad for him yet. I've already given him a taste for cat girls, so I'm sure he'll find some way of being entertained.
He'll keep himself
Uh,
amused.
Yeah, by the way, Laurel, this house next to Viola's little sanctuary is the one that Joe's been assigned to.
Oh, nice.
So he has not only a house that's close to his mistress, but one that's close to the center of the village, so access to all the cat girls.
Awesome.
Oh god.
That video is crazy. I love that.
Yeah, good old Scots. They found a way to make water flow backwards.
Yep. Yep. All right. I'm gonna shut that down then.